All right, we know Janteloven, right? Which is a law we have in Norway. I will give you a really honest opinion about this in this video because Janteloven is a big part of the Norwegian culture. And if you're going to Norway or just want to understand Norway and Norwegians, it's very important that we understand this Jantelov. Okay, first of all, I'm going to speak about what it is it real? And I'm going to speak about some positive and negative sides about this law we have. Okay, and also I'm going to show you how it works in real life about this law. When you actually are in Norway, working, living there, how does it affect people and you? If you go there, you can see it and observe it. And then lastly, I'll tell you my personal opinion. As a Norwegian, I've been living there for 20 years, and the last couple of years I've been living outside of Norway, and this have given me perspective of foreigners, and I'm working with foreigners every day in my courses, in my school where we teach Norwegian, and I have so many students there, and they always ask me these questions. I'm going to decide to make this video. Okay, let's dive in. Should. Right, Janteloven. Where does it come from? Okay, very important here. It just comes from, it's like the law of Jante. It was introduced by a Norwegian Danish author called Aksel Sannemose in a text he wrote in 1933. He just wrote it kind of like as a joke out there, but now it gives people a lot of attention. It got a lot of attention, and people started looking into it, and it kind of made a perspective of a lot of people thought that in Norway and in Scandinavia, it reflected the Norwegian mentality. It's become very popular, especially in Norway. For you to understand it, you need to hear the law here. Okay, first of all, I'm going to read all of them because there are 10 different laws here, okay? You will see that they are quite harsh and quite funny as well. And now you can understand a bit better. Look at this. Also written here, I'll put it here so you can see. So we have, du skal ikke tro du noe. Okay, you have the Norwegian side, I'll read them in English, you can see them in Norwegian as well. You should not think that you are something, okay? You should not think that you are as good as us. You should not think that you are wiser than us. You should not think that you are better, wiser, smarter, bigger, all those things. You can see, I'm not going to repeat all of them here, but you can see the mentality behind, the idea behind this thing. What does this mean? You can see it here. Think for yourself here, because this just means, okay, if you read behind the words here, it's something that you should be mediocre. You should not be very different. You should not be very rich or very poor. As you can see, both extremes. You should not be better. You should not be worse here. You should not think that you are something better than us. Us here is society, okay? Norwegians, okay? Scandinavian culture people. You should not be too different, too much better, too much worse. You should be kind of like average, fitting in it. That's the whole idea behind this thing. I'm gonna get more into it now about positive and negative sides, and also my personal perspective and opinion about this. First of all, is it real? Well, it's actually it's not a law in that sense. It's like it's written down and you get punished if you don't do it. It's more like a social code or a behavior here. And yes, I will say to a certain level, yes, it is real in the sense of it reflects mentality of Norwegians and Scandinavians. Most of them, you can feel it here. For example, if you go to a country like the US, capitalistic country, you go to Dubai, or you go to like Miami, or you go to those places, London, maybe it's more about there as well, where you are very rewarded, more rewarded socially by society if you're doing very good. Think about it, you go there, you flex, you go to Dubai, you buy a Ferrari. Okay, it's an extreme example, you can get the idea. But in Norway, you'll see that rich people, or people that are successful, first of all, drive around in humble cars. And they are humble personality people, okay? So you see here, they're not, because Norwegians don't like that people brag, okay? You can see a lot of I'm going to speak about soon as well. People don't brag as much there. So yes, it's a real thing here. I'm going to get more into that in the next couple of minutes. But yes, it is a real thing, positive and negative sides. First, I want to speak about the positive things about this Janteloven. I would say it has a lot of positive things, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people can agree that if you go to a very capitalistic place, like you're from the US, so you go like London, okay, you will go to big cities in Dubai, there's a lot of like flex to it. either you like it or not, in Norway is not like that. So you said people are very humble in Norway. If you meet a guy or a girl in a bar, or if you meet them outside, or if you're having like meeting someone at a dinner or an event, you will see that people, even though they're very successful or very famous, they tend to be very humble, which is, in my opinion, it's a good thing. I think at the end of the day, it is a good thing that people are humble, they're nicer. You should not be looking down. You should not like look down to someone. You shouldn't look up to someone either so much. You'll see this hierarchy very much at work. In workplaces as well, your boss, you normally call them by their first name, a very informal situation here. Your boss in Norway also, because of a lot of laws, we have labor laws, they have a lot, the workers have a lot of rights. There's a lot of unions that takes care of the rights of the workers. You'll see that it's a very flat hierarchy, work situations and just social situations as well. And number two, another positive side that we have about this is that people care less about material things. If you go out, if you're meeting people, you want to make friends or a partner, you'll see that this person tend to care less about materialistic things and more about you as a person. If you're a nice person in Norway, you'll get far. I'll say in Norway, it's not so much about making money, being rich and famous. In Norway, that thing doesn't mean too much to people. You'll see this. And in my opinion, that can be a nice thing as well. Okay, so those are the positive sides, in my opinion. There are probably more positive sides. Put them in the comments if you have more positive sides about this. Okay, positive sides about Janteloven. Now let's get into the negative sides. Before getting into that, I wanted to mention also my conversation classes. A lot of people ask me if I can mention them in these videos as well, and I will. I have conversation classes where I teach people to speak fluent Norwegian, but not in a normal class. You'll have like 25 students in one class. I have small classes where each student will speak a lot, and the teacher will be there to correct your pronunciation and your grammar and make sure you speak in a correct way, because we're going to speak in many different situations. So you'll learn to speak real Norwegian. Okay, so look at the link in the bio to get more information and send me a message if you have any questions on how to join VCS. I will say, I'll get into my personal things about negative sides, and I think a lot of people can agree with me here, because there are negative sides as well, depending on your personality, of course, because some people might think the negative sides are positive and vice versa. So this is very, very, I'll say, subjective to this thing. Right. So I would say that one of the negative sides are people are more scared to stand out. This is a very fact that I see in my life when I go to Norway. I see that people like to be mediocre, which means that, in my opinion, mediocre is like people like saying out. For example, if you, for example, like a certain type of car, you want to be, okay, you want to be really like, you buy a Ferrari, you want to do something you really like, you want to have, for example, like, you're a type of person that likes to wear green clothes or the right weird type of hat. I would say here that this is something that maybe people are not gonna like, because you're too different. I'm putting a extreme example to this thing where I maybe exaggerate a bit being different, but that's the idea of it. For example, if you are a person who likes to start your own business, people will be like, why are you doing this? Why not doing why not doing the normal thing here? Okay, depends, of course. There's a lot of people very open to it, of course, as well, but normally that's the idea, that you should not do two different things here, which in my opinion can also have negative sides. And number two negative side is pressure to be in a certain way. You will see in Norway, look at the girls in Norway, they tend to look pretty similar. The idea reflects that. You see a lot of blonde girls, same type of hair, same hair color. It comes from this, in my opinion. It should be like, there's like standard how people should be and should look, reflects that thing as well. Okay, also like there's less cool things happening. For example, you see that a lot of less businesses are being started in Norway. A lot of like different crazy things are happening here. Positive and negative side, of course. I'll say it has negative side. There are less cool things happening here because of that. Personal things, I'm putting a negative twist on this to make you understand, but I think you get the idea of what Janteloven is. So how can you see this in real life? Okay, I already spoke a lot about it. It's just like you can see that people tend to be more humble. People tend to be like, they don't brag as much. And people tend to also be like, they're trying to fit into the norms, either if it's with hair color, personality type, how you should be. There's a lot of that in Norway, and you can see that as well in Norway. It's something that is important that we can understand and respect, and also learn to like deal with, because maybe you're the type of person who likes to who are very, say it, like an outlier, like me. When I go to Norway, I feel like I have to kind of change certain behaviors. It's also important that we are, as a person, we need to express ourselves and be the way we are, and not let this cap our personality too much. Because in the end of the day, you should be yourself, you should do what you want, and you have to deal with the consequences of it. Okay, it's because if you do, like, for example, when I go there and I'm really more like crazy and more like energy and more different, certain people like, oh, why is he doing this? Like, oh, people get like, oh shit. But I still have to be there and express myself and be able to do what I want to do. And I'm probably gonna lose a percent of people who doesn't like it. But in the end of the day, I'm being myself. I'm staying true to who I am and what I believe in. And I think you should do the same and learn to deal with the consequences of that. Right. In the end, to my opinion about Janteloven, I think Janteloven, it's something that reflects Scandinavian and Norwegian culture to a certain smaller degree. It's not like it's written in the text that we spoke about in the beginning here, but it has some points that I think we should understand and we should respect and we should learn from, you know. Okay, there are, like I said, negative sides and there are positive sides. Positive sides, people are more humble. It's nice because when I travel and I see a lot of people flexing, I'm not really a fan of that. Okay, so it's nice to go to Norway as well. And negative sides there is that is average, a lot of average things. So when I do something that is a bit like me, I do a lot of like crazy stuff, I do a lot of new stuff, I started my own business, I travel a lot, I do things. It's like less, I don't know, compared to like other places, maybe like less received. Okay, well, people are not like less open to those things for certain people. Not all the time, a lot of people support as well, and they're super cool about it. But I will say that will be the negative sides of it. So yeah, positive sides, negative sides, and conclusion from my side is I think you should see this for yourself, and based on your personality and how you are, you should take a decision of what to do and also how to deal with it. And also you should label what is positive and negative. I just did it from my point of view, my world, my values, my personality. You should do it from yours and take a conclusion and deal with it. Okay? Jeg håper du likte videoen. Håper du likte video. Vi ses i neste video. Let's go!